Welcome to the Phenomenal Podcast, an authentic forum where real conversations happen. I'm your host, Phen, and each episode features an unscripted chat with everyday people. Get ready for a genuine, raw discussion. Enjoy the conversation. What's good, everyone? Another episode of the Phenomenal Podcast here. I have a very old friend. We haven't talked in a long time. Ronald Tran. We knew each other in high school, and I don't think we've talked since high school. So this is going to be a nice, refreshing conversation for us. Ronald, why don't you let the people know a little bit about yourself?
Well, Stephen, it's nice to see you again. It's been almost probably 10 years since since graduation. But born and raised in Marietta, Georgia. So haven't moved since, other than Vegas for work for the last 2 years. But right now, I'm an airline pilot, and I started doing something else before that. Before my career change, I was a business development rep working in Atlanta, working for a company called NCR across the street from Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Realized that I didn't really like sitting behind a cubicle, so now I'm trying to live out my dream and travel the world and meet new people, see new faces, and yeah.
Dude, that's really cool. So I didn't know that you worked in like a corporate job before.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty big career change.
Yeah, so I majored in marketing. I went to Georgia College, majored in marketing, and during that time, I knew that I had a fascination with aviation. Growing up, my dad, he worked for Boeing, and he worked when he was in Atlanta. He was working at Lockheed Martin as an engineer. So we used to go to the Dobbins Air Force Base air show every year when I was a kid, and then that's kind of how aviation stuck. But I realized that when I wanted to get into aviation, I thought it was only a military route. So I didn't really know how to network with anyone in the military industry because I didn't want to go to the military. And of course, to become an Air Force pilot or jet fighter pilot, I've heard, rumors that you have to have 20/20 vision. And of course, I have a really high stigmatism. But I found out about a civilian route, which is where you go to just a regular flight school. So I went up to Peachtree to Cab, and I started training in 2017. And fast forward to 5-6 years, I'm flying a 747 around the world.
Dude, that's so cool. I see
Yeah.
your Instagram stories, and recently you've been literally all over the world. So, and you've been working a ton.
It's honestly a lot. If I told you how my day, so when we originally had to reschedule this because I was just out of it, but I try to make so much time, and I apologize. But
Oh, you're
the
good.
day before when we were supposed to do this, I went from Incheon, Korea to Hong Kong, which was a 4-hour flight, and then Hong Kong to Anchorage, which was a 10-hour flight. And then I got off the plane in Anchorage, sat in the back as just non-operating pilot from Anchorage to JFK, which was about another 9 hours. And then I got off at JFK, took a Delta flight from JFK to Atlanta. And I came to Atlanta around 1 a.m. and I was just shot. I was 28 maybe plus hours in the air that day. I was done.
Yeah, I know. I saw your Instagram story when I was getting back, or like I was leaving church or something yesterday, and I was like, dude, there's no way that you want to talk to me right now. Like, I know you would have done it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna make you do that. Like, that is crazy.
Nah,
So
man. I would have wouldn't mind at all, dude. It's just it was that was my first realization of like, okay, cargo pilots do age faster because we're actually flying at night. We're nocturnal, and I actually can. What I started this new job. I left Spirit because I got furloughed because the airline industry is kind of like on a downfall right now. But
yeah, right.
I took this job July 20th, and then I got on the line September 25th. And after this trip, my sleep schedule is just non-existent. So this morning, I told you I was playing 18 holes at golf, and I had to be there at 7:30. I didn't sleep until 6:30 morning. I'm still on Korea time.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's hitting, but
I'm sure.
You get used to it. I'm slowly starting to get used to it, but the first week was rough because I was getting really jet lagged.
Yeah. That's kind of, I mean, you're not flying people, but you're still
No,
flying, and you're still flying big planes and things like that. It's kind of scary, like that you're doing all that with little sleep, you know?
yeah, so yeah, the cool thing about flying cargo is, you don't have the hassle of maybe unruly passengers because the boxes they don't talk, right?
Right, right.
We do so for my company what we do carry we do a lot of military contracts. So from time to time we do carry like armed weapons, maybe Humvees,
Hmm. Hmm.
missiles to and we do a lot of routes. I haven't done it yet, but we do a lot of routes to Ukraine.
Mm.
We do a lot of routes to Korea. We do a lot of routes as well domestically
Hmm.
to like Utah for picking up, confidential materials in U.S. Air Force bases that they don't even disclose to us, so we don't even know what we're carrying.
Dang. So do you have to have a security clearance for that?
No, not a security clearance. To have a security clearance, I think it's something else. But for pilots, the only thing that you need to have is like a company badge on you at all times, and just some air. We have an ID called an airman certificate, and it's basically your driver's license for an airplane. Kind of looks like this right here, something like this. Kind of glary right now, but it
Yeah.
has your name, your address, and
Mm.
your company badge right here. But as long as you have that on you, you don't need secret clearance. I think secret clearance is to go inside of a building of a base.
Gotcha. Okay. That's that's super interesting. Like, dude, so what a career
Yeah.
change. That is so cool. That because like yeah, I don't you know a few pilots, you don't whatever, but like I don't know. I know one person who's a pilot. He's actually a Delta pilot, but I don't see him very
Okay.
often. We don't talk a ton. So like, it's just a different world that you guys get to live uh, than like us over here. So, what's your favorite part?
Yeah. My favorite part is going to Hong Kong
Yeah.
because when Hong Kong is just it's busy. It's a busy
Mm-hmm.
city life, but food is
Mm-hmm.
so cheap there. And when I have a
Yeah.
chance, I bring back like at least boxes or cases of candy to bring back home to my family to try out. So I just came back from
Yeah.
Korea. I bought them like $50 worth of gummies and candy and
Yeah.
like different chips and stuff. It's awesome. But also one reason why I like Hong Kong is if you're into gaming, like computer gaming,
Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong has a complete district of electronics. You can buy anything from motherboards, keyboards,
Gotcha.
50-inch screen desktop, like concaved. Like they do some serious gaming over there, and
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself, but I bought a Game Boy Color there for $80.
Nice.
It was a yellow Pikachu edition one, so I was pretty happy
Nice.
about that. Yeah. So
Dude, that's
yeah, that's probably my favorite part. Just going to different places, trying new foods.
mhm.
Um, I will say it's kind of rough because my schedule, I'm 16 days on, so I'm 16 days away from home. But when I come back, I'm off for 14 days, so I get 2 weeks off.
Mhm. Okay. But how much do you like try to sleep and like do nothing in those 14 days?
Oh yeah,
Or
I try to just zone out. I don't even look at my company emails. I don't even look at
mhm.
my company iPad or anything until the night before things. If like emails for like maybe software updates on my iPad, I do it the night before so that
Mhm.
I could just get it over with the day of work. But yeah, those 14 days, I do not even want to talk about work.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I'm making you talk about it right now, sorry.
Nah, it's fine.
My cousin is a firefighter in Roswell.
Okay,
They just switched to 72 on and then 48 off,
okay.
or it's something like that. They went from I think they went from a 48 to a 48 on 24 off type of thing to now they
Hmm.
do 3 days on 2 days off. And he said that shift was so great for them because that first day he's like, I really just like, I'm not even a person basically.
Hmm.
That second day he gets to actually get to be around his kids and his wife and whatnot. But you're on for 16 days, traveling through every time zone possible.
Yeah.
And like, how many days did it take you to, of the 14, to like readjust to life here?
Pro- Probably like the second to last day, man. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right, I just picked up this overtime trip that I told you about to make some extra cash, and my body is now recorrecting itself slowly to East Coast time because I'm
Hmm.
still in Korea time. But it's it's kind of challenging because whenever my mom or my dad calls me, they're like, "Hey, when are you coming home?" If I'm in
Hmm.
Asia, we are a day ahead of you guys, so I have to backtrack
Yeah.
and add
Yeah.
a couple hours, so it's all over the place. But
Right.
I'm still adjusting to it because when you're gone for that long, your body adjusts. For me, at least, within like the fifth day of work, and then when I
Hmm.
come home, the hours are so different that it takes longer for me to
Right.
adjust. Yeah.
Yeah. We went to Japan in April, and so we had that 13-hour time shift, uh,
Hmm.
and that was really tough. Like, I mean, I've only
Yeah.
done it once, but you do it all the time. Like, but it is so hard,
Yeah.
and coming back was harder for sure. Like,
Hmm.
it took me a lot longer to adjust once we got home than it did
Yeah.
when we got there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's rough, but I'm glad to be doing what I love to do. Every
yeah.
job has a positive, every job has a negative, and I look at this as not really a negative, but it's just a little thing that I have to get used to. So I'm doing something that I don't even feel like is work. I'm doing what I love. So I'm blessed to
Hmm.
be what I'm doing, to be able to do what I do right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you were flying Spirit, so you were flying people before,
Yes, yes, I
right?
was yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
what's the biggest difference other than the people, but like
yeah,
between the two?
of course, like you can hear about spirit stereotypes and whatnot, but the biggest difference is with spirit. Every flight is domestic,
Mm-hmm.
so the flights are going to be shorter than
Mm-hmm.
doing international flying,
Mm-hmm.
and also I would say everything has to be really precise. So in the airlines, every airline is graded on their completion of flights on a timely manner. So if you're late, that hurts the company and it hurts, they're losing revenue because they're coming late. But for cargo, you can be late all you want. Ideally, you don't want to be late, but you can be late, but there's not going to be a, a crazy amount of stress on the execs because
Mm-hmm.
the boxes just need to arrive, not people's families or their loved
Right.
ones.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, I feel like now in today's society, like post COVID, everything, people just kind of expect for your flights to be delayed.
Yeah.
I understand that it's still like missing revenue for the company and things like that, but like I don't know anybody now who's like, oh, I got to take a flight. I'm going to be there on time or early or whatever.
Hmm.
They're like, yeah, I'll get there when I get there. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just a shift in society.
Hmm. Yeah, and I also think it's because I don't really think there is a pilot shortage anymore. There is still a shortage, but
Hmm.
the airlines have already acquired like the maximum capacity of pilots that they need right now, just
Hmm.
because Boeing and Airbus, those two manufacturers, are having
Hmm.
issues with the 737 and the Pratt and Whitney engines on the Airbus. So that's what's causing a pause in growth for fleet wise for every
Gotcha.
airline, just because
Gotcha.
um, they have to get Boeing has to get recertified to be able to manufacture the 737s to get released on the line because there are so many issues with
Hmm.
them. And also, it's like buying a new car for the Airbus, right? When you buy a new car, there's going to be a recall,
Yeah.
usually the first year of the model. So the new engines, they're called Neos, they're having a recall, and
Mm.
it's setting back a lot of orders for the airlines to bring out to the line.
Gotcha. Is there anything that like you're not allowed to talk about? Like I don't want to like ask you anything that
No,
like could get you in
no,
trouble.
no, no, no. Unless like you're flying like for military, yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I'm pretty open with what I'm willing to share.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had people ask me, "Is the Earth really round?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's round." I mean, when you get up to like 39 to 40,000 feet, it
Yeah.
looks flat to me still, but you can see a little bit of the curvature, I guess, from time to time. That's from what I see. And I've also gotten, "Have you seen any aliens?" I haven't seen any aliens, but I've flown into the Northern Lights, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures you posted. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's like I felt like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar flying through that. It was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure. Okay, so like we're talking Boeing and stuff, so like would you fly in a 737 Max?
Would I fly in a 737 Max?
The ones that are like falling out of the sky?
Yeah. So one, yes, I would fly a 737 Max. People kind of bring it out of proportion of like the media seems to make it like, oh, it's crazy unsafe or whatnot.
Mhm.
Boeing has had just issues in the past year just because of management changes. The company's still
Mhm.
good. It's a great company. They've made some phenomenal aircrafts. And the 73 has been around since, maybe I might be wrong, 50s or 60s, and they're still operating it today.
Mm.
They just have different variants of it. And
Mhm.
I think the only issue with the Maxes is maybe management or exec is more focused on profitability rather than the quality.
Mhm.
I would still fly the Max. It's a great plane. From all my friends that are flying from Southwest, they like it so far. It's really fuel efficient. I would say it's reliable, but maybe I don't fly the 7.3, so I don't really know how it is structurally wise. But if an aircraft's been
Mhm.
around since the 50s and they're still making money off of it for the airlines, and airlines are still ordering like a 60 plus year old airplane, I would assume
Yeah.
it's a great aircraft to fly. So I would fly it.
Okay. I just heard. I mean, I don't really pay a ton of attention, but someone was talking about one of the planes has like an actual design flaw, and
Yeah,
is
it
like
was the
causing some
MCAS
issues.
system. Yeah, so when the Max
Mm.
first came out, I think it was the Max 8. The MCAS system, it's basically an automated I might be wrong, but it's an automated system to show the
Mhm.
pilot where the nose is pitching. And
Mhm.
I think there was a flaw where the nose would overly excessive pitch up or pitch down, and the pilot couldn't control it, and
Mm.
that's what caused all those accidents. I think that's what it's called, the MCAS system. I don't really know too much about that, but I could I could look it up for you, and I'll get back to you on that.
I was just wondering. My wife loves to travel, but she is like actually terrified of planes, and so like she'll like it's a crazy concept. She like loves to go all over the world, but
Yeah.
then she hates actually doing the flying.
Well,
And
you could,
she,
yeah, you can tell her that there's more car accidents in a day than there ever is for aircrafts. Aircrafts are
yeah,
much safer than cars.
yeah. I mean, we've gone through the statistics, but there's that thing, just like the media, the
Yeah.
legacy media that people are starting not to trust as much. But it's still there's certain things like the fatal flaw of the whatever aircraft we're just talking about, and so she like
Yeah.
tries to make sure she picks flights that aren't going to be on that type of aircraft. But
Yeah. I mean, you the media does like tend to like do that for a reason, just to draw people's attention so they can get more publicity and stuff.
mhm,
But I think every plane is like right now, every aircraft that's operating for like United, American, Delta, they're all
mhm,
safe.
right.
They got really good reliability. Maintenance is working on it. They got qualified engineers and maintenance people working on it constantly. So
Right.
just tell her to ignore the media. But I still do understand that fear.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, would you want to fly people again, or do you like flying cargo?
I like flying cargo, but I would probably like to fly passengers again.
Hmm.
I It's kind of like an emotional connection to me because when I was a
Sure.
kid, uh, my my parents got divorced at a young age, right? So I
Hmm.
would always I would be in an unaccompanied minor.
Mm.
So my mom would drop me off at the terminal, and then the
Mm.
flight attendants would escort me into the plane to go see my dad. But every
Hmm.
time I would come in, I'd get to see the pilots, and I was like that 4-year-old kid, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, what do all these buttons do? And
Yeah.
these pilots would give me like wings and stuff. So when I was working at
Sure.
Spirit, those kids would still come up in the cockpit to see the buttons, and I let them sit in the seat, take pictures, and it was
Right.
just like a full circle moment. So that's kind of like that
Yeah.
emotional connection. And also, you also get some pretty cool passengers. Like
Right.
for last Christmas, I was working. A passenger came up to the cockpit and said, or the flight deck, and said, "Hey, I really appreciate you guys flying on Christmas. I know you'd rather be home. Here's $50 gift card to Starbucks." And she just handed both gift cards to us. So we get some goodies from time to time as well. So
Yeah. That's nice.
it's really wholesome from time to time.
Yeah. That's very cool. Okay. Is there a specific like airline you want to fly for,
Well,
or you don't care?
ever since I was a kid, Delta has been my goal,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's still my goal. I mean, I'm living in
Yeah.
Atlanta right now,
Right.
and Delta's always been around. I have my application in. It's just been in for about almost a year now, but I'm updating my hours every day. So
Yeah.
every flight
Okay.
I do, I just go in and update my hours just so it can flag the system. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm just blessed to have a job. I'm doing what I love. But Kalita is also a really good company. They've been taking care of me really well. Training there has been
Hmm.
awesome. People, captains that I've been
Nice.
flying with, crew members, awesome. And with cargo, we don't have flight attendants, but all the pilots, when we're doing those long haul trips, they cater for us. So we get anything from PB&J, trays of fruit, any
Nice.
sodas. Yeah. So we got a big oven and a microwave and a coffee maker in the back that we can make for ourselves. And
Sweet.
the aircrafts have like beds. So the rule is every time a pilot flies within 8 hours, a second crew
Hmm.
switches and the guys go in the back
Okay.
and sleep. But yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. So on those long haul flights that you're on, how many pilots are flying like on the plane with you?
So we have three different types of crews. We have basic, which is two pilots; standard, which is three pilots; and then double, which is four pilots, which I've been doing usually. So the rule is a pilot cannot exceed up to like 8 hours
Hmm.
behind the yoke because you need your rest. So another pilot just takes over, and then we from time to time we don't really fly like 8 hours straight. We do like intervals. So hey, I'm going to fly for 2 hours. Go in the back. You fly for the next 2 hours. Cool. All
Mm.
right, and then we'll switch back again.
Okay. And there's always two people in the flight deck at a time.
Yes, this aircraft requires more than one pilot to operate this aircraft.
Okay. Because it's a big guy, I'm sure. I assume.
Yeah, it's the 7.4, so it's the biggest Boeing ever
Hmm.
made. It has four engines.
Hmm.
It's like one of the last jumbo jets out there. Besides, like I think the Airbus A380. Yeah, the 7.4 is she's a big bird.
Nice. That's cool. Okay. So how long did you work for NCR?
Man, I worked at NCR for 2 years. Yeah, two
Okay.
years. I was just man, Steven, I was doing like 50 cold calls a day, man.
Oh
I was
man.
and I had a script, and I
Yeah.
was and it'd get to the point where I'm talking so much my mouth would dry, and it was
Yeah.
just getting so repetitive.
Right.
To make your quota is your calls had to be you had to make 40 calls a day,
Hmm.
and if they didn't pick up, you'd have to leave them a message and then try that again.
Mm.
And if they didn't pick up, it didn't count as a call. Like if a person picks up, it counts as a call. So you're like calling, and I think the most I made in a day was about like 120,
Jeez.
and it was just no nothing against NCR. I'm glad they gave me. my first job out of college because it
Mm,
helped me pay off for flight training and stuff.
yeah,
But
sure.
it was just I can't do cold calls, man. I as much as I want to sell a product, sales is not my strong suit.
I don't think I could do it either. But and like, was that like the SDR role where like you're making the calls, you're getting the
Yes,
leads, and then passing it on to an
yes,
actual sales guy?
yes, and then we're following up with our cadences through Salesforce and
Yeah.
taking notes of how the call went, and if they didn't pick up, you'd have to go back the day after and then call them again and mark it down as a hey, didn't pick up or whatnot, so that call could count as one call.
Hmm. Dang. So like, you were was that a hourly base, salary based thing, no commission, or did you get some type of commission for that?
Yeah, so it was an hourly salary. I
Hmm.
think I think it was coming out of college. It was 65. Yeah, 65 a year,
Hmm.
guaranteed, and then you get like a 10% commission.
Okay.
I and my first year at NCR, I made like 85, 85.
Okay.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
85. So not too bad as a
Yeah.
first year coming out of college, but
Right.
um, still paying rent out of my parents' house, but
Hmm.
it was good. My parents were very understandable with that process because they knew I was going through training, so they're
Hmm.
like, "Hey, you can just pay us like 200 a month, and then all the rest can go to flight training." So that's what I
Yeah.
was doing
That's
for like
nice.
3 years. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So how long did it take you before you decided like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna go to flight school. I'm I can't work in this type of world anymore.
yeah. I still remember the day. It was February 12th,
Wow.
2016. Yeah, February 12th, 2016, on my sister's birthday,
Hmm.
and I was sitting in my room, and I was still in college at the time, and
Hmm.
I switched. Fun fact: before I was a business major, I was a bio major because
Wow.
I thought I could be a marine biologist, and I was
Yeah.
studying for my uh, bio 1 exam,
Hmm.
and uh, the day after that, after my sister's birthday, I just called her to say, happy birthday. My exam came back, and I got a 15 out of 100 on it.
Oh my.
Yeah, yeah, it was really bad, man. I was like, this is not it. This
Yeah.
and it was the first exam of the semester. I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah. That's tough.
And I knew I wanted to become a pilot because I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, this is not working. Like I was really never good at school. Like I was good at, you know, if there was a course to teach me how to do my taxes or whatnot. I was really
Hmm.
good at what is it, news broadcasting in high school and all that.
Hmm.
But I was sitting in my room. I was like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And I had my phone out, and I was talking to my dad, and he was like, well, you better straighten up, or you got to change your major or whatnot. And I asked him, can you help me look up a civilian flight school? Like I think I want to get into this. So he took about like a week to look, and he found a flight school for me. And yeah, that's when I knew.
Dang. That's cool.
Yeah, the night when I was like about to flunk my bio test. Yeah, it's really embarrassing to tell, but I,
Hey, no, I had a
it's
similar
so
story
bad. Yeah,
because I was a computer science major at
yeah,
Kennesaw, and I didn't even wait to get my score back after my first programming test. I
yeah,
walked out the door, dropped the class on my phone, and changed my major. Like, I withdrew from the class, and I was like, nope, this is not for me. So I didn't even
yeah,
wait to get the score back of the test. It probably would have
man,
been worse than the
yeah,
15. I don't think I got anything right. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. But my college transcript still has that W withdrew on my
yeah,
bio class, so
yeah,
that's
that's
pretty fun
funny.
to look at.
Because okay, so you said marine biology, and I thought you had gone to coastal Georgia, or did I get you mixed up with
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
else?
Yeah, I went there for a year before I transferred over and
Okay.
finished my whole year at Georgia College in Milledgeville. But yeah, that I originally came there my freshman year to become a marine biologist because I was like, oh, it's near a beach and there's a sea turtle center. Maybe I could
Yeah.
study some animals or whatnot because I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
cool. But yeah, I don't get any. I was always bad at science. I don't even know what I was thinking.
That's funny because that's down like Brunswick, St. Simons area, right?
Yeah, that's about a 4 hour drive from Atlanta,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Josie's parents have a house there, so we go down to St. Simons a ton.
Yeah, I
I
worked
love it
on.
down there.
Yeah, I worked at Sea Island my freshman year. Yeah,
Nice.
trying to make some cash to survive
Yeah.
off food.
Yeah. Sion's a fancy place.
Oh yeah,
What a fun fun life. It's crazy that they expect us at 18 to be like, "Yep, go decide what you want to do with your life." When like we all have so many different interests and like don't actually
yeah,
know anything about the world.
hmm yeah. I honestly, I on the U.S. education system, it's fair, but I think for kids like at 18, I think like most real world stuff that would be really effective is maybe like just a basic dumbed down version of how to file your taxes because
Hmm.
that's very important and that's like
Hmm.
everyday stuff and just like maybe like automotive stuff, my sister, for example, she's 21,
Hmm.
but um she got a flat tire about 2 years ago and didn't know how to change it. I was like, you know, let me teach you how to change your tire. I mean, it's just like that's just
Yeah.
my opinion. Just
Yeah.
something simple because that's some real world stuff that uh, kids don't know how to do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just like they don't really let us explore all the options. Like you didn't know there was a civilian path to being a pilot. And like that, even though you
Yeah,
knew like this is something that you wanted to do for so long since you were little, but like you didn't really know the pathway to get there. So like
yeah,
why don't they help us like foster, not us, we're past it, but kids today foster creativity and the ability to like really explore the different avenues that you could go down because not everyone
yeah,
has to go to college to have a
yeah,
good career.
yeah. I mean, my cousin didn't. My cousin dropped out of Georgia State. Now he's doing
Hmm.
like 3D computer designs, and he's
Mm,
he's doing fine for himself. And one thing that I did kind of like teach him because he didn't really know, but also like with another course is like maybe for young kids an introduction to LinkedIn. Teaching them how to network with people
yeah, right.
around different industries. That would be a good one as well.
Yeah, for sure. So if you could you have gone from high school to pilot school to working for Spirit? Did you need to go to college to do that, or could you have just gone to pilot
Yeah.
school, flight school?
So during 2014 when we graduated,
Hmm.
you had it was a requirement. It was like really hard to get into aviation, but you had to have a 4 year degree. It doesn't
Okay.
matter what degree it was. It's just you had to have an accredited, 4 year degree, like bachelor's, to
Hmm.
be able to be considered. But now that there's such a pilot shortage, like in 2017 when they announced a big pilot shortage, because
Hmm.
all those Vietnam War vets that
Hmm.
that were pilots, now they're getting to the age where they're all retiring. Now
Hmm.
there's that shortage, so they dropped the 4 year degree, and most of the airlines now they dropped all the 4 year degrees. You don't need a 4 year degree anymore to become a pilot,
Okay.
and you can grow facial hair now.
Oh, that wasn't a you weren't allowed to do that before?
No, like aviation earlier, like a couple years back, you had to be clean shaven, or you can have a nice trimmed mustache. But
Hmm.
now they're being more lenient on like facial hair, tattoos, as long as it's concealable.
Mm.
No 4 year degrees. It's
Wow.
the industry changes, but when things start to get more competitive
Hmm.
with the certain type of pilots that they want to hire, they start bringing up their hours that they
Hmm.
want to be met, and also they'll bring back the 4 year college
Gotcha.
degree. And
Okay.
some airlines have done that, and then they got rid of it, and then they got it back. So it's just back and forth.
What if someone was like went from high school to the military and became a pilot, a fighter jet, like Air Force pilot? Is there an exception for them?
Yes,
I don't know if you know that.
absolutely. It's what is it? I think Delta,
Hmm.
they actually consider military pilots first on the list
Yeah.
because they get priority. It's a really good look, and it's a very prestigious
Hmm.
thing to have on your resume. But I think United and American also do that as well, and
Mm.
Southwest. A lot of the captains that I've been flying with, they've served in the military,
Hmm.
but not as fighter jet pilots. They were
Oh, okay.
also like boom operators or
Mm.
drone pilots from
Sure.
all over. But if you're a fighter jet pilot in the Navy or something, yeah,
Hmm.
you'll definitely get in easily without a doubt.
Gotcha. Dang. I mean, that's not something I ever thought about, but like
Hmm.
that is probably one of the most badass like things. If someone was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fighter jet pilot in the
Yeah,
Navy," or I was like, "Wow, like
yeah.
what?"
You can start as early as like so you can join an academy, kind of like
Hmm.
a cadet program,
Hmm.
at the age of 10 or 9,
Wow.
even younger, and then you can fly a plane by yourself at age I think 15 or 16,
Yeah.
like a small propeller plane. Yeah,
The guy I know who is a Delta pilot now, he got his pilot's license before he got his driver's license. Like he's
that's
just like,
actually
yeah,
That's
he,
actually really cool. That's impressive.
yeah,
That's a big flex.
yeah. He just knew he from the moment I guess he could think. He was like, yeah, I want to be a pilot. I remember going over to their house and he had like the simulator on their computer and like he would fly like at their house and
Hmm.
then
Yeah, nice.
yeah. Him. I actually think I know someone that got their private pilot's license as well from McCullum Airport up in Kennesaw. He was a fraternity brother
Okay.
of mine. He started
Yeah.
taking lessons out of there.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's what a cool like thing. I mean,
Yeah.
have you ever been to Elevation, the restaurant? Yeah, we had a fraternity event there. It was really
Okay.
cool. Like at night, just seeing the planes
Nice.
come in and like we're
Uh
eating
huh.
dinner and like it was sweet.
Yeah. I think another one that you should check out is in Peachtree DeKalb. It's called the
Okay,
57th Fighter Group. It's
57
a
fighter.
it's a World War II themed restaurant, and
Cool.
it sits right next to the runway, so you can sit outside and see the planes land. They have a big giant P-51 World War II Mustang like sitting out front of the yard, and then when you walk in there's like sandbags on the walls, and like there's old pictures of like World War II maps and like burnt pictures of Nazis memorabilia and then US memorabilia. It's really cool.
Dang. Okay, I'll have to check that out. That'd probably be a fun like date night to do.
Yeah, it's called 57th Fighter Group, and it's in Peachtree DeKalb in Chambly, near Buford Highway.
Okay.
I think you
50.
take the 285 to get there.
All right. All right. Cool. I'm gonna check that out. Where do you? Okay, so you go to? Do you fly out of Hartsville Jackson for your work, or you fly
Yes,
somewhere? Okay.
Hartsfield. Yeah,
Okay.
we fly out. I always start my shift out of Hartsfield.
Okay. Do you? What's like security like for you?
So we have something called KCM, which is known crew member, which is this badge right here. It
Hmm.
has a barcode, and basically we don't have to go through TSA, but sometimes we do get random. So like when you go through TSA, when you walk through the Delta terminal, do you know where the was it clear
Yeah.
TSA lines at? Yeah, it's right next to that. What I do is I just have my uniform on. I scan this and I present my passport. They look at it
Hmm.
and they're like, "Okay, you're clear to go." Or
Hmm.
sometimes they say, "Hey, you've been randomed," which
Okay.
means, "Okay, I gotta go wait in line, or I gotta go put my bags and then make it go through the machine." So they can see if I don't have anything crazy in there or whatnot. And you'd be surprised. There's been some stories of pilots having like or flight attendants and or passengers having narcotics in their their suitcase. Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Okay, so do you go through the regular security line when that happens, or
No, we just go to the one that's global entry on the other side.
okay, yeah,
It's just like right next to it, and it's a faster line. You just go right through, and the TSA agents know that you're a flight crew just because of what you're wearing, like your uniform
sure,
and stuff. So
yeah,
they're more lenient, but they do check your bag just to see if you're not crazy or whatnot.
right. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some crazy people. You hear about some pilots that are insane. So
yeah,
the flight attendants, they live a wild life. Some of them.
yeah, yeah. They sure do.
Oh man. Okay, so you're here back in Atlanta, but you lived in Vegas for 2 years. What was Vegas like? Living there, what was that like?
Okay, so I moved to Vegas in 2022 just
Okay.
because I started my aviate. I was looking for my first or yeah first jet job,
Hmm.
and I was flying for this company called Jet Suite X, and they offered me a jet job, but I'd have to go to Vegas,
Hmm.
and I took it just because I need the experience, I need the hours, and I need jet time to make myself look more competitive. So I moved out there by myself. It was the first time I moved out of the state of Georgia, and
Hmm.
I have nothing against it, man. People think that it's
Hmm.
like a crazy town because, of course, it's the nickname Sin City.
Hmm.
Crazy stuff happened there all the time. But if you ignore the nightlife,
Hmm.
golfing,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's amazing out there. There's golf courses
Yeah.
everywhere. People
Yeah.
travel around the world to go golf in Vegas. Food is easy to get.
Hmm.
You have every types of food, and they're all open almost 24 hours to like almost 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And um, the only thing about Vegas that I would say is a downturn is in the summer it gets to like 115 degrees,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you just took a shower, you walked out, and you're already sweating.
Yeah. I've heard from someone I played RuneScape with. We were
Okay.
in a Discord. We were in a Discord, and he lives in Vegas. And he's like, living in Vegas is so much different than what people make, like you just said, what they make it out to be. Like if you go for a weekend or whatever. But like if you do that, you're going to the strip. I mean, most people are going to strip clubs and or are playing, cards and stuff like that. And
No, it's not that bad. And also, if you're like into hiking,
hmm
that's the place to hike. We got a bunch of parks out there, like Red Rock,
yeah,
some caves, and like big giant cliffs that you can like check out. Hoover Dam is only about 45 minutes away. You can go
cool.
check out the Hoover Dam, and it's not too far. It's like only 4 hours away from LA. So some people
Hmm.
on the weekends they drive out to LA to go to like a Dodgers game
Yeah,
or like a Rams game, and then some people go to Phoenix. It's not too far away from
yeah.
Phoenix as well, or Utah, or Salt Lake City is just not that far away either. People go there to ski.
Yeah, that's cool. We went to Phoenix for our honeymoon.
Okay.
We got married in 2021. Like everything was not everything. Most things were still locked down. We were going to go to Costa Rica, but Costa Rica was like not open at all. There was a curfew. We literally couldn't do anything. So we pivoted last minute and found Arizona was a pretty open state. So we're like, "Oh, let's check out what we got there."
Yeah.
So we went there and saw the Grand Canyon, which was an incredible thing to
Nice.
see. And then we found this like all inclusive other than alcohol. So all your food was included. Resort at a hot spring just north of Phoenix, and that like the western landscape out there in the US is so different and it's absolutely beautiful. I would when we were out there, we were only out there for a little bit. I was like, I feel like we could move out here. Like it's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
I honestly liked flying into Phoenix. It's really nice. I have a few friends that live out there still, that I've flown with at JSX with,
mhm,
because that's one of the bases too. But I've stayed over in Phoenix many times, and it's honestly fun. And going to a Suns game is really cool too.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
but it's a beautiful place. Yeah, West Coast is really nice. or out west. It's really
Mhm.
nice, but a lot of you just have to deal with the heat, and then
Yeah.
in the wintertime it gets really cold,
Yeah.
like
You're in the
super cold
desert.
because of the desert.
Yeah.
And then you're not too far away from the west coast, like the beach area in
Mhm.
California, so everything's within reach.
Yeah.
But what I do despise the most out of the west coast is the only place that serves sweet tea is Chick-fil-A. I went to every restaurant, and I asked, hey, I know it's going to be a no, but I'm going to at least try. Do you guys have sweet tea? No, we have unsweetened. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. The West Coast doesn't believe in sweet tea.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird. But at least Chick-fil-A, I've asked someone that worked at Chick-fil-A corporate, and they said that even out there they have to use the same recipe for their sweet
Yeah.
tea. So at
Mhm.
least it'll taste the same as
Yeah.
what it is here.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Okay, what perks do you get through your job now? Like, do you get to fly standby at other companies, or do you
Yeah.
like? Yeah.
So my company, my perks are I get to list on any airline I want, and
Cool.
I could. So if there's a positive seat available,
Hmm.
I can get that seat, or I can sit in the jump seat, which is sitting. I can, for example, hey, there's a flight to Denver tonight,
Hmm.
and okay, United already flew out to Denver. There's no flights left. Oh, but I see a Delta flight.
Hmm.
Okay, let me pick this flight. Okay, cool. If all the seats are taken up, I can
Hmm.
still possibly still get on because there's an extra seat in the flight deck with the two pilots.
Yeah. Nice.
So those are one of the perks. I could still sit in the front, of course, with the captain and the co-pilot's
Yeah.
permission if they allow me on board, which they usually do.
Hmm.
And that's one of the cool ones. And what the perks that I had when you fly for an airline like Spirit or
Hmm.
Southwest, United, Delta, American, you can list your family on your perks as well,
Yeah.
and they can be on your benefits, but the only thing is they're not guaranteed a seat. They're
Hmm.
on standby.
Right.
So if there's a seat available, they can get on. So sometimes it works in their favor because you don't have to pay for a ticket, but you are getting that risk of them not being able to make that flight.
Right. But so you just have the perk for you right now through your current company,
Yes.
not anyone in your family at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cargo is different. Perks are for you,
Yeah,
and
that makes
then
sense.
airlines like passenger carry, it's for the whole family.
That makes sense. Could you get on a cargo flight if you wanted to go to Korea and but you weren't like working? Could you be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
can I just tag along?"
Yeah. Yeah, I could if I wanted to go to Germany tonight. There's probably a flight out to Germany from Atlanta right now. I
Oh,
could
that's kind of cool.
say, okay, cool. All right, I'm packing my bags. I'm going to Germany tonight.
That I think that's awesome. Like that's a
Yeah.
cool perk.
Hmm. Yeah. It's pretty cool, and it's the only thing that I like about that traveling is I could you know go anywhere I want whenever I want. Of course, on my days off, but it's also I'm still learning this. The currency changes.
Hmm.
Every country has their different currency, so I have to do the conversion to see
Mm,
how much is this or that. But
yeah.
and also the only downside to doing currency changes is if you want to exchange, they charge like a minimum fee or
Yeah.
like a few dollars on how much they want to take out of
Yeah.
it. It's all good.
That was actually a good thing about when we were in Japan. Like the yen, the Japanese yen is weaker than the dollar, so we had a
Yeah.
little more spending power. But we would
Yeah.
go take cash out of the ATM using our credit card, and it was
Hmm.
like 1 to 1. Like not 1 to 1, but like we didn't pay like a huge markup or anything like that for it. It was pretty crazy. If we wanted to get
Hmm.
$100 US out, it would give us however much $100 of Japanese yen was
Yeah.
without any like fees, which was so cool. Because in
Where did you
Europe,
guys? Where did you guys go?
we were in Tokyo, then we went
Okay.
to Osaka, and then we went to Kyoto.
Osaka. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Kyoto. I've seen pictures. It looks
Yeah.
gorgeous, and my one of my things to do to go to Japan is to try omakase, that
Mm,
special one-on-one experience with the chef hand making the
yeah,
sushi in front of you. I think
yeah.
that's on my bucket list right there. That's
You should do it. We didn't do it,
yeah.
but like people talked about it. It's a great experience. We did. We worked with a Japanese sushi chef though, and we made our own sushi with him, which was kind of fun. So
Okay. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Nice.
it was pretty
Cool.
cool.
Okay. Yeah, I've looked at YouTube videos on how to make sushi because they do that. They have that stick roller thing,
Yeah.
and I bought one, but I just completely butchered it and got rice stuck everywhere. But yeah, it's I like the Japanese culture just because I've seen videos of people traveling. They
Hmm.
seem like the most humble people that you'll meet, and
Hmm.
their manners towards you is just phenomenal. They're so polite, and
Yeah.
they take everything that they do very seriously with how they craft their food and how they
Hmm.
clean. Like the streets are very clean, and
Yeah.
of course they have. I'm a car enthusiast, so they make like
Yeah.
really good
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
JDM cars like Skylines and stuff. So
Yeah.
I geek out over that stuff, and
Dude, you
yeah,
should
that's
go.
yeah.
If you can
I
get there, you should definitely go.
Yes. Right now, so we this company we do fly to Japan, but
Uh huh.
so we have the 747 and the Boeing 777. But
Hmm.
the 777s have been mostly doing the routes to Japan slowly.
Hmm.
So there's going to be less and less 747 trips to Japan, but it happens from time to time. So if I get a chance, I'll definitely go.
You should, and try to be able to stay there for a little while because, like, we were there for 12 or 13 days, and it's like
Hmm.
just still wasn't enough. Like Japan, you think of it, you look at it on a map, and you're just oh, it's like a small country, but like it's actually massive. Like it's so big.
Hmm.
There's so
Hmm.
many parts. It's very long, but the bullet train you can pretty much get anywhere you want to. And
You took the bullet train.
yeah, 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 it was cool.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'll be. This is another weird thing that I have. I'm into trains, man. Like I used to collect die cast model trains.
cool,
Yeah. Oh man,
nice.
that's cool. So, how fast did that thing go?
Dude, it was funny. I pulled out my like phone and I turned opened the Waze app and I like looked at it and it was like telling me I was going like 170 kilometers an hour. Like
Dude, that's so cool, man.
yeah, it was crazy. And it was like almost when it started going, I like was like this like I feel weird. Like we're moving
Hmm.
really fast and
Uh huh.
like you look out the window and everything's just like flying by and you're like it took a little bit to get used to like being on that the train that was moving that fast.
Yeah. Oh
But it was
man,
super
dude,
cool. We
man, I'm
took
kind
it
of jealous that you went there.
we took
Dang.
it from Tokyo to Osaka and then Osaka to Kyoto and then we took it from Kyoto all the way back to Tokyo to fly home.
Okay. Nice. Dang. Yeah, man.
Apparently
I got. I got.
Josie just told me this that apparently there's a program going on in Japan right now too where once you get into the country they will let anyone from the US and Canada right now fly within the country for free. Like you can get I didn't fact check her, I don't
Okay.
know, but like you can take like domestic Japanese flights for free as an American because I guess they just want you to experience, the country.
Okay.
So,
Huh.
you should look into that
Okay.
too.
So I could fly to like Okinawa to Tokyo.
I think so. Okinawa, I didn't realize it's a 6-hour flight from Tokyo, which is like pretty crazy, but yeah,
Hmm.
cuz we wanted to go there too and then we realized how far away it was.
Yeah.
But
Cool,
yeah,
man.
super cool.
But what else have you been up to?
Dude, just we got married 3 years ago. We got married in 2021. We got a dog a month later, then we bought our house and, then I was working for a tech company. I was working for FIS, a big tech
Okay.
company,
Nice.
and then just switched to a smaller company now and like actually I am a software engineer, so I failed that programming test, but I ended up, circling back to
Hmm.
figuring it out. And so, just trying to play a lot of golf with my
Yeah.
father-in-law and some friends when I can. I still hang
Nice.
out with like Liam Vellante and
Good
Branson
man.
and those guys. We're all still friends. So
Nice. Yeah.
just living
Yeah,
life, man.
man. Man, I haven't talked to Liam in almost the same amount of years as I haven't talked to you. Man, did you go to the 10-year reunion thing?
I was never invited, so
I
I didn't even
I
know about it.
I didn't go. I was just like, oh, man, is I just finished a long training out
Hmm.
of Michigan. I was like, man, I just need a break.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe 20 years, maybe we'll
I
get
mean,
invited.
right. So like a 10-year high school reunion, like none of us have really accomplished anything yet. And most of us follow each other on social media now anyways. Like, you know, I keep up with most of the people I want to. Like like there are still some people like this that I'll run into. It's like, oh, it was so great having a conversation. You're here
Hmm.
now. We should play golf sometime. Like, like but I mean, most people from high school I keep tabs on through Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and then if I don't want to interact with you, I don't. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I've been up to recently too. I just started getting into golf like last year, and I'm
Nice.
still trying to. But I haven't. Today was my first time playing since June because I was just in
You're so busy.
working mode since then. But
Yeah.
today was just terrible, man. I keep slicing, I keep chunking, and it's
Yeah.
and I keep lifting my head on the
Yeah.
downswing, which I shouldn't do, but I tell myself, okay, keep your head down. And I tell myself that, and yet it's like a muscle memory where I just
Yeah.
pull back up. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a love hate relationship sport. But when you hit that really good hit, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah. It's like an addiction that you just, you fight for that pure strike and you get so high and you ride it until you do it again. And sometimes it's a really long time in between those good pure strikes. But
Yeah,
you
man.
know,
Have you gotten fitted yet?
no, I want to,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
that's not an expense that I like, really want to pay for right now.
Yeah, down
I
the
mean,
road, down the road.
yeah, I do, but I don't. Like I'm still working on my swing, so I kind of want to get to a point where my swing is at a place where I'm not tinkering as much. I know you always like you tinker forever, but like I don't want to tinker as much as I am right now. I just got the Rap Soto for my birthday, the MLM2 Pro.
Okay.
Oh, I got
Nice. Ooh.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to build a little outdoor hitting station and just really
Yeah.
dial in my game this next year.
Nice.
So
Are you hitting off actual grass, or are you hitting off the like a turf pad?
yeah, I'm hitting off a turf pad. I do have like a backyard with grass, and I was hitting into a net without a launch monitor, but then like I was ripping up the yard, so I was like, yeah, I should probably.
Yeah, I don't think Josie would like that too much.
You know what's so funny is like, well, I think about this every once in a while. We were in that same prom group, and she was there with us senior year of high school.
Yeah, I went with Megan Forlini. Rest in peace to her, man. But
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
Wow.
things change like crazy. But yeah, I
I know.
remember it was at Megan's house.
Hmm.
I think it was you, me. I think Liam was there because
Yeah.
Lizzie was.
Yeah.
And where did we all eat? We ate somewhere at near Lenox Mall in Buckhead.
Yeah. I don't remember where we.
Yeah, it was a pretty expensive restaurant. I remember that. And then we went to prom, and that thing it lasted probably like 3 hours, and then we all went back to the limousine, and then we all dispersed.
Yeah, I thought we went to. Didn't we go to Lizzie's house after? I don't know if you went,
I,
but
I think I did, maybe, but
yeah,
maybe. The last thing I remember is all of us eating at that restaurant, and then I don't
yeah,
remember what happened after we all went back to the limousine, but um, yeah, man. Oh, and this is now just coming to me. Josie's dad was on
uh
Discovery Channel at
yeah,
Gallery 63, that show, the auction show, and I
Yeah.
used to watch that show dead on, and I saw her dad, and I was literally starstruck. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, oh dude, this is actually Gallery 63.
Yeah. Oh, I talked to him on the podcast. It was I
Okay.
think episode 14 or 15. So
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it. We talked about Auction Kings.
Was that was my fondest weekend of high school, like having the weekend off, hitting Discovery Channel, Man vs. Wild, and Gallery 63. Those are my two channels I watch. Oh, and Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
man.
so funny. We actually, I remember driving past Gallery 63 on the bus, and Josie was like, Ronald, it's right there.
Dude, I was flipping out. I was like,
Yeah.
holy cow, man. Oh, man. Great show. He sold the business, right?
But her brother actually took it over.
Oh, took it
So
over?
like,
Okay.
yeah, he's operating. He has a different like clientele, and he mostly does like jewelry. But he
Okay.
took over the name, so he has the name and everything.
Okay.
But
Nice.
it's not in Sandy Springs anymore. So
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
but
Yeah, that's kind of funny to look back. We were in the same prom group.
I know that was like a random ragtag group of people that we were with.
Yeah, yeah. I think, well, yeah, because I know Megan was really close with Lizzie in high school. I think
Yeah,
Josie knew Lizzie as well, right?
I think so. Just because of Liam,
Okay.
like me and Liam were good
But
friends.
yeah.
Because let me see if I can find pictures of that group that we were in.
Yeah, man. Wait. Oh, dude, you want to see something crazy?
Sure.
This is the actual rose that Megan gave me at prom
Wow,
2014. I still have it on my desk, like
man,
on my tux. Look at it, dude.
wow,
Yeah. Yep.
dang. Are you at your parents right now, or do you have your own place?
No, I'm at my parents right now. I move into my new house in March. The floors are getting redone right now. We bought a shack, so my
Mm-hmm.
parents and we co-signed together, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna pay it off as I go.
Yeah.
It's a pretty like old junky house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting the roof redone, the floors redone,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of work to do. New plumbing. We're knocking down the walls to make the living room a little bit bigger. But it's going to be in East Cobb, so I'll still be around.
Nice. Nice. Sweet. Very cool,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Well, dude, it was great catching up with you. I gotta go make some dinner now,
Yeah, man.
but
Yeah,
like we definitely need to chat more often and get a round of golf in every once in a while.
dude. Of course. Hey, I'm always down. I go out to work on the 8th. I come back on the 24th, but that's like the week of Thanksgiving. But we can figure something out the week after.
For sure, man. We've been communicating through Instagram, but I'll shoot you my actual number so we don't have to do that
All
anymore.
right, man. Yeah, man. Sounds good. Tell Josie I said hi, and it
I
was
will.
nice meeting you again, man. Stay
Yeah.
safe. It was
You too,
nice
buddy.
talking to you again.
Enjoy
Yeah.
your next few days off.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to follow on whatever platform you're listening on and send it to a friend. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. They really help boost my exposure. If you're on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed and liking every video. It really helps the algorithm. Links to all my and my guest socials, along with music credits, are in the show notes. Thanks so much. Love y'all. Bye.